This is a Retail Insider video podcast. You're watching a mall tour.
All right. Hello, everyone. It's Craig Patterson. I'm the editor-in-chief of Retail Insider. I'm here with Lee Rivet, and we are going to do a walking tour of the CF Pacific Center in Vancouver.
Yeah, in the downtown. It's anchored on the south side by Nordstrom and the north side by Holt Renfrew. A very productive mall.
And Lee, you did a little walk around here and did some video taping of the shopping center.
Yeah, you bet. And we did the walk around at the end of October. We couldn't necessarily get this post-produced because we were just cutting over to our new website. So sorry for the delay, but we are now here with a nice commentary. So I'm excited to go through it with you, Craig.
Excellent. Let's jump in here.
You bet. And there's two retail levels to Pacific Center, the lower level and the upper level. We're not going to go through the anchor tenants on either end being Nordstrom and Holt Renfrew, just the core mall itself. But to begin with, we're going to go through the lower level, which they can't call ground floor because both the upper and lower is accessible from ground level at some point because the center's built on a hill. But to begin with, we're going to start on the north end of the mall, lower level off the Dunsmuir Street entrance here. And as you wander in, we're going to proceed south into the lower level. And you're going to come across Sephora right off the bat, right on the right. Now, wasn't this Amicris that went and did the building of this Sephora just on the right here?
Construction company Amicris was involved in the construction. That Sephora store was renovated, may have been expanded. I'm not sure if it was
expanded. I think it's super nice.
Great looking store. So this is CF Pacific Center. So we're going along here. Evernew is a brand out of a women's fashion brand out of Australia. Has expanded into Canada. It started in Vancouver a few years ago. Here we got Softmock, the footwear retailer, which has been, I found, building new stores or renovating them around the country.
Well, I think in Park Royal, they even went to a bigger spot too. So they must be doing well.
Yeah.
Club
Monaco store. You know, it's been in that spot at Pacific Center since I was a teenager. They've changed the look of it, but I certainly remember shopping there when I was 16 years old. Yeah. Echo Shops.
The Purdy's. I go there all the time and get awesome and amazing chocolates there.
Yeah. Oh, God, look at that ceiling.
Yeah. I was wondering what's going on, if they're like replacing ceiling tiles or if some damage happened or something, but I don't know.
Yeah. One or the other. And there's Babaton. Babaton is one of Aritzia's sub-brands. 3,000 square feet, apparently. We've got a lease plan, which is very useful here for this tour. So good call, Lee, in terms of getting that.
Well, the Bath and Body that we just went by, like my mother-in-law from South Africa went in there and just basically bought up all the soaps and stuff there because they don't really have the foamy stuff. So anyway, so that just an anecdote there.
Look at that Sandro store. So Sandro's a brand out of France, upper contemporary brand for men and women, and its sister brand Mage, M-A-J-E, for women is upstairs at CF Pacific Center as well. So
I didn't know they had men's.
Nice looking store. Yeah, they got menswear too.
Ooh,
Lush Cosmetics. Yeah, some of their stores are doing really well. They saw a bit of a sales dip, I think, last year, but it wasn't that bad. They're still doing well. There's a lawsuit. American Eagle. Yeah. American Eagle's doing quite well during this
pandemic
COVID recession we've had here, which is interesting.
Here's Wilfred,
another Aritzia brand, which is kind of funny. Wilfred started its stores earlier than Babaton, but it was, again, an in-house brand at Aritzia that I really like this. This is an entrance to Nordstrom from the mall. This was an old department store. It was an Eaton's, and then it was a Sears store most recently.
Kate Spade, followed by Vacant.
Yeah. Kate Spade, Vacant Space. The Hugo Boss store.
Bought a suit there to go to a wedding. That got canceled.
Got canceled. Oh, they're doing a lot of casual wear, but still very stylish because it's Hugo Boss. So,
and then we got the Disney store.
Dustin.
And then, and then Microsoft that you can see into.
Yeah, this is the Microsoft store. Microsoft closed all of its stores globally. I figure one or two tenants will take that space probably. They'll be able to probably split it into two. Ted Baker. I love that brand. They've got some great stuff. A fashion brand for men and women.
Very rustic.
Massimo Dutti is owned by Inditex, which also owns Zara.
Ooh, I've never been in there.
Biggest apparel retailer in the world, I think it is.
Zara is for sure, but I've never been in their stores. So
yeah, in Massimo Dutti, similar-ish sort of stuff. Pretty nice. That's a big store, actually.
Very big store.
Got 7,400 square feet almost.
And then we got the Abercrombie and Fitch.
This is an entrance or exit, depending which way you're going. Canada Line, the SkyTrain station. Yeah, excellent. Okay. Get my bearings here. The other entrance is into the Hudson Bay department store, but
Yeah.
I used to live in Vancouver now.
Yeah.
Jack and Jones, casual wear, decent price. Here's Mark Kane, great women's German wear, German wear, a German women's wear brand that has stores around the country. It's great to see that it's expanded.
And then we have Moose Knuckles that recently opened, right?
There we go. Yeah. So this store has a LED screen. I think it has an LED screen. Calgary certainly does that. Moves and does a bit of a light show. I'm not sure if the
Is that the one in the front window or no?
yeah, no, I mean the entire facade. So where you see the colors there in Calgary, it lights up and moves. But I'm not sure about this Vancouver one. Again, it's hard not being in these cities where I'm trapped basically in Toronto. So Le'Veon Rose, Canadian success story for lingerie and underwear.
Yay, Fossil, love their watches.
Fossil store.
A little late to the game for the smartwatches, but love them still.
Steve Madden, American footwear brand. Lululemon, very successful Canadian brand.
Absolutely.
Leisure. There's that ceiling issue that CF Pacific Center is having.
Yeah, it's just clouds.
Dynamite. Group Dynamite recently filed for creditor protection.
Really?
But it's going to come back strong,
yeah,
is what they're saying here. Bonlook, Montreal-based eyewear retailer. CF Pacific Center has a good mix of retailers. You've got the Dyson demo store here. So they do demonstrations of Dyson products, a showroom. I think it's kind of the retail of the future.
Yeah.
Where, it's less about selling in the space and more about showcasing the brand. But Anne Louise is a local jeweler based in Vancouver there.
And then this is the food court, I believe.
Yeah, this goes into the food court, CF Pacific Center, which then leads over into the basement of the Hudson's Bay department store, which is across the street. So it's connected to CF Pacific Center, but it's not owned by Cadillac Fairview.
And this is the lower level of H&M, and I think it's men's. So if we go by here...
they actually got an escalator finally. When I was there last, which was actually a year ago, sadly, because of COVID, I haven't traveled much. But they didn't have that escalator because they expanded down, H&M expanded down here to this level to create the men's floor. And but what's funny though is years and years ago, well, until 2007, this was a Holt Renfrew store, and Holt Renfrew actually had the 3 levels. So the escalator wells there were actually over 3 levels for Holt Renfrew, but then Holt Renfrew in 2007 moved into its new gigantic space at the end of the mall.
Well, it's interesting because there's Coach here, but there's also then Coach on like Burrard Street. So this is one of 2 stores I know of downtown.
Yeah, and also there's a shop in the Hudson Bay department store, but it's like not a concession, but it's still there. So yeah, hopefully they're all doing well. I think the Vancouver market's been pretty good for Coach, and Coach has brought in some interesting new stuff that looks good. I know that the brand had struggled for a while. So Roots did a bit of an experience store here. They were rolling those out around the country and in the United States, but also Roots had a restructuring situation, and they shut some stores, including a big flagship in Chicago that they'd opened. I think it was just last year.
And that little Sage store, like literally 780 square feet, same size as like Swarovski coming up.
Yeah. Swarovski in many malls, known for its jewelry and Swarovski crystals.
And once a year, 50% off going on now. Yay!
Oh,
yep.
My goodness.
Telus and Best Buy. And then David's Tea.
So this video was taken, like you said, in October. So that's the only David's Tea in Vancouver. Okay. So now we're going to the upper level.
Yep. So we went up the escalator and parked myself in front of the Holt entrance. And here's Harry Rosen.
Yeah, excellent. So top of the escalators. This is the street. So it's CF Pacific Center is on a bit of a hill, kind of like CF Toronto Eaton Center. And so this level is accessible from West Georgia Street. Beautiful Harry Rosen store, which really has quite a presence at CF Pacific Center. It's about 25,000 square feet or so, I think, and a little bit more, including the Xenia store across the hall, which when you come back on this tour, we'll be able to see. What we're seeing here on the right is the Harry Rosen footwear store for men. Harry Rosen's an upscale menswear retailer. Almost everyone watching this will know that. And that used to be, I think it was a Hugo Boss shop at one time or something. It's changed, but I remember when Harry Rosen really got serious about footwear. Here's Seba Jewelers, final clearance sale. I don't know if they're closing because they're doing some renovations to parts of the mall here, but we'll see.
Maybe.
That used to be the entrance to the old Four Seasons Hotel.
Yes.
That was connected to CF Pacific Center. That closed, I think, just at the end of last year. Actually, I think it was January of this year.
January, yeah. And then
I'm not sure. This is interesting. So this is a streetwear store plus, and they sell really interesting limited edition sneakers and shirts and really highly coveted items. And I just found it interesting that now these types of retailers are going into a lot of shopping centers in Toronto, Vancouver.
Can you back up a
There's
little
some
bit?
construction there that you darted around. Rumor has it, I think we know, it's going to be an Apple store. There's going to be a big Apple store flagship there. Might walk down because of the construction. There's a Michael Kors store right on the corner there facing onto West Georgia Street as well. And then we just zipped around the Aritzia store towards the new Max Mara, which I have not seen yet.
Here you go.
Major apparel brand out of Italy. The Vancouver operations are run by Vestas Fashion Group. Max Mara itself, the high-end brand you'd find in the Room. And I can't confirm if they're in the Room in Toronto, Vancouver, just because sometimes stock lists change, but they were.
Yeah.
So H&M, we were downstairs looking at the H&M store. This is the main floor of H&M.
Yep.
Which used to be the luxury boutique level of Holt Renfrew at one time. But H&M is 3 levels. It also has an upstairs level. We won't be able to see that in this tour. Macage is a Montreal-based brand known for its outerwear. And has some great fashion as well. Great addition to the shopping center. Here's the Apple store. This old store here, when I lived there in 2014, was doing about $75 to $80 million a year in sales.
Wow. That's where I get all my stuff from. So
Maj. This is, I think, I may have pronounced it wrong. Same company as Sandro we mentioned downstairs. This is women's upper contemporary fashion. Canada Goose store. I don't see any lineups here, but I think in Vancouver they often get lineups at Canada Goose. Joe Malone, high-end fragrance and skincare, is going to be opening a store where Links of London used to be.
Ooh, that's next.
I'm not sure if this video will be going out before or after we report on it in Retail Insider, but I won't give away the whole story, but I'll just say thank you, Jane. But yeah, so this is where the new Joe Malone store will be going. They take possession in early 2021 and start construction.
And here's the Zane.
Xenia, or Menegildo Xenia. What a beautiful store. Holy cow. That boutique is operated by Harry Rosen. I mean, Xenia's been at CF Pacific Center it's been well over a decade. I don't even remember when it opened. It's been so long. But anyways, that concludes our tour. Now, we didn't include Nordstrom or Holt Renfrew as part of the tour. I mean, that would have, I think, more than doubled the square footage.
Yes.
In terms of that tour. But that's okay. At some point, we'll do that. But I wanted to say thank you, everyone, for watching this. That was our tour of CF Pacific Center in Vancouver, a place that's near and dear to my heart. I used to visit there all the time. And one thing I should mention as well is there was actually a 3-level north component to Pacific Center called Pacific Center North years ago. And that was decommissioned in 2006. It had, so it was, for those that remember or had been there, a big 3-level. It had a big atrium in the center with a fountain. The food court was in the basement before, and they actually took out all of those retailers and built a Holt Renfrew flagship store that at the time was about 130, almost 140,000 square feet. So that was very ambitious, and that was part of Holt Renfrew's plan to create superstores around the country. So Vancouver was the first one, and they did Calgary. Then they expanded around the country. So now the company has 6 large format stores and shut all the small ones, except for their men's store in Toronto on Bloor Street, which will meet that fate as well at some point.
Yeah.
So
excellent. Well, thanks again for going through this with me. And I think we'll sign off with that.
Excellent.
Well, thanks again for everyone listening. And please take a moment to subscribe to our podcast. And we would appreciate it if you left a review with your podcast provider to help others find us too. And just a gentle reminder, we do have an email newsletter that you can subscribe to that goes out every weekday morning, and it has a link to the Canadian news from around the web that we've curated from the previous day, as well as links to our recently published articles exclusive to Retail Insider. If you go to our website, retail-insider.com, you can find the subscribe area towards the bottom of our main page, and then you can get that email into your inbox every morning. So thanks everyone for listening, and we'll have more of these coming ahead.
You betcha. We'll be touring all around the country here.
Bye, everyone.